Gamera on Moira. Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Your end is within my I wanted to stop. You cannot escape me.
So nothing really so far. I actually need to turn it down even more. It's just so loud. Not great for a video. Okay, so I guess a couple things to talk about right there. So not a ton at first, because like I mean it's Dorado, you have to start pushing the. But then it's like you seem more focused on just like putting right clicks on tanks in front of you whenever you could just be a little bit more defensive around the payload itself. So the biggest thing, I guess, is like you have people dropping on you, and it's like it's very chaotic. Obviously, first off, but it's like I'm not even sure what the best thing coordinating with your team, but like getting killed there's rough. Like you hear a Genji, like a Genji hits you like twice or something like that before you really even react to it. Here, realistically, I probably would have done about the same thing, but I wouldn't be playing Moira myself. I'd be playing BAP, but that's just because I'm a BAP main. Just try to be aware of the enemy. And if you're taking damage, you have to try to react to it a bit, yeah, especially with your fade. Like you didn't even use fade before you got blasted. Like not a huge deal or anything. Dorado first point is like kind of a shit show anyway.
Progress is seldom won with ease.
Like you didn't immediately use your fade coming out of spawn for mobility, just because they're so close to where you spawn in at. Like right there, you were able to fade away from the Reinhardt, and it wasn't on cooldown. So that's pretty important. Another quick thing that I'm noticing now that we can finally get into some comments or whatever. So for Moira, your best, like as long as you have resources, if you like spray your teammates for half second to a full second, they'll get like a nice heal over time, especially since they just buffed it recently. It's not like a massive heal or anything. It's only like 60, but it's 60 plus however much you like stream on them. So if you can just like weave a heal on people and then go back to right clicking people or using the suck, it's just like way more efficient because you'll be healing them. That's unfortunate. I don't think even if you had healed him earlier, he would have lived that. She may have. I'm not sure. This is kind of where things are falling apart. So here, you're doing good. You're backing up. Your Ana's not really getting the memo, but like you can't do anything about that. Like obviously you should be backing up, fading away. You hit the wall. It happens. Geometry. So, I explain why if you're not already aware. Like whenever multiple members of your team die and like they're like halfway through their respawn or whatever, you really want to make sure you don't stagger and just like force a lost fight a second time around. But like you did fine. You did fine. You seem aware of the fact, or at least that you shouldn't die. Great dodge. Good kill. The anti-nade was a great setup. Awesome. Awesome. Unfortunately, I can't say anything about the Junkrat trap because I step in them like all the time. Honestly. Honest to God, I step in them all the time. Here, big thing, get out of the window. Yeah, like just get out of the window until you can, or push through it. Like don't be on this side of the window. But yeah, good weaving heals right there. You just want to be more about like So like the way that I've seen it is like Moira's either get too caught up with the left click and run out. You seem to fall into like the second category, not to the point where you're just like straight up a DPS Moira or anything, but just like you're not utilizing the heal portion as much as you could. So like it's fine to just like put the heal on people who are like taking some damage or like you anticipate will be taking some damage just because you have like a 3-second buffer of just like some amount of healing. And it's like put a little bit of healing, do damage. And like 2 or 3 seconds, like 3 seconds later, whenever that healing, just do some more healing and then damage. I mean, circumstantially, obviously, like there's situations where you should be like straight healing or straight damaging, but like just high level. So like this is good. Like killing Mercy is like everyone's job or whatever. Like she's she's like the main character of the whole game, honestly, right? Like every game there's a Mercy. It's like the Mercy is who I must. Good heal. Okay, this is a big thing. So the payload's capped. I don't know if this is a fat finger or whatever, but I talk about this a lot in VOD reviews. If the payload's capped, there's like this whole animation and stuff of like doors opening, the cart's pushing on its own or whatever. Don't commit anything to those moments. Like it's too late, like there's nothing you can do to influence this payload going faster or stopping it if you're on defense. But I mean, just be better with your resources like that because like what did you like right there? Like what did you gain? What did you gain from using your ult on that? Like the payload still hasn't moved an inch because the animation still hasn't finished. Like yeah, you killed Bat, but like he's gonna be back as the payload's like what here. He'll be back by the time it gets to like here or something like that. So like, not good. I feel like you watched a video about someone playing Moira, and they told you about this like the spray technique where you just like spritz people on and off. Like, yeah, it's great. Like you should be doing that when there's like nothing else to do. But when your team's at like half or whatever, or like you need to hold down the spray on them, like until they're like 80% or like 85%, and then let the heal over time do the rest. But if you just spritz people who are like literally half HP, they're only gonna get to like right here from that little spritz after like 3 or 4 seconds. Like it's not gonna be a huge impact. And then like you heard him ult, you should assume that he's coming for you because you're a support. So I would have ran off. Okay, playing really in the danger zone. Any slightly better Ryan would have just like obliterated you. Just like so for Moira's like heal, it's like a 15-meter range, I believe. Like you don't have to be like right on your team. I know it feels like it because like it's very deceptive the way that it looks like. It looks like it's just like coming out of your hand and then just like dissipating or whatever. But it's like it's a pretty long range. Like you don't have to be right up on them. And like if they're like way pushed up in a scary spot, you can like just use the balls and stuff. And then I guess use the balls on cooldown either. I need to pay a little more attention to that. That was just unfortunate timing. I don't believe he was antied before you threw it. That's good. You're doing it now. Like you're using them a lot now. Yeah, there's nothing you can do for them. Like that's just part of it. Yeah, so far that's like a big thing. Like your resource management is, excuse me, perhaps too good. Just because you're like never go below half on your heal. But it seems to be at like the detriment of your team, I guess. Not like a huge detriment or anything, but it's like if you could heal them to like more than half, or like to the point where they are probably going to be healed all the rest of the way with the heal over time, you'll probably be better off because like Like I was saying, like there's two camps of Moira where it's like they're always either they like never use the heal, and like, or they use it too much. Excuse me, like, and you're at like this like weird 60-40 or like 80-20. That was unfortunate. She got you with the headshot. Nothing, not a ton to say about that one.
No opposition is insurmountable.
Dorado's one of those maps too where it's like kind of hard to talk about positioning. Such oppressive high grounds, but the offense doesn't really have, like certain heroes I guess don't really have a ton of ways to just like position better. Okay, well I say that and then we see this. So you definitely knew that there was like a ton of people there because like you just took a grenade from Junkrat and like walked away. They probably didn't forget you were there. But you seem to have forgotten that they were there. So in situations like that, there's no need to like tempt them to like ego challenge them or whatever you would do, because like you could just go. God, I hate these controls so much. Do I control this crap? It's just so whack. Anyway, there's a whole escape route over here to the right in this garden. Like you could just go out and use your fade. Like whenever you're gonna be in vision of them again, just use your fade to not be in vision and get out. Like you don't have to try and ego challenge because Moira does not have burst damage. Like the best you can do is orb and ult, and that's like like 75, 80 damage over time, assuming sticking to stuff. Like you have like no burst damage like whatsoever. Like you're probably not gonna kill people and get out with your life. So like it would have been just like way better to try and live by going out the garden side. But like I hate Dorado too. Like I'll probably have more to say on defense just because like the first and second point are just like so defense sided as far as like high grounds go. And your routes are pretty limited as far as goes. That was interesting. Do you play with a headset? I mean, you can't answer me right now, but like, so whenever the tire passes you by, you can just like not. You don't have to watch it. You can just listen to see if it comes back because you almost like obviously you saw that you almost backed straight into a Reinhardt, and like you were getting like no value from like being able to like heal or damage or do anything while you were backing away from it. So, like, do you know how to use resources to your advantage? Like being able to hear the tire is a big thing because like you'll know if it's like near you or anything. That's unfortunate, but it happens to the best of us.
Score 0-1.
Then we'll fast forward a bit.
Ready for battle.
So I guess this is kind of a comment about like team comp actually. So now that you have a Mercy instead of an Ana, so like then she wants to really heal. So in this specific team comp, you're gonna be like the main source of like of healing for the rest of your team, past whoever they're trying to pocket. I mean, it's a, if obviously it's a lower elo, so like they might not even be aware of that that aspect of their own gameplay, but it's just something to be aware of. Like if you have a Mercy and you're playing like Baptiste or Moira or whomever, it's like you have to take on a bit more than you would normally. So I'm hoping that you're like somewhat aware of that fact, just so that like you'll do like the whole spray and damage technique. But like defense, this map is just so defense sided anyway. So yeah, nothing wrong with that. Like just getting some ult charge is great, obviously. You're taking a bunch of damage there. After that second hit, I would have faded out. Like, there's no way I'm gonna get God. And then, so, I'm not sure if you can hear it now. If you didn't notice, there's a Junkrat, or not a Junkrat. There's somebody who was pushing you on your high ground up to the left. Actually, it was a Junkrat. I was like, I thought I heard his peg leg. So now he's behind you, shooting you where you were, from where you were. You don't notice, like, now he's over on the right-hand high ground.
Lending a hand.
But he...
I offer something more.
Okay, so you're playing on console. I'm just reading through the notes here now. Do you play with a headset? Because if you don't, you should really, really try. Because, like, there's, like, several times now that I've commented on things that you could have probably heard and had, like, a way easier time dealing with, you know? Because if you're playing off a TV, like, obviously you have, like, nothing going for you as far as things you can hear, right? Like, it all just sounds like sound. Or if you want a ton of money into a great surround sound system, you could do that too. So this is just kind of one of those things where, like, before, maybe if you had been able to, like, put heals on people, like, if people are, like, taking a huge amount of aggression, like, as Moira, you probably aren't going to do as much damage as they would. So, like, let's just back up just a bit to where things, like, really started going wrong. So, like, right around here. So, like, he's taking a ton of damage, he's taking a ton of damage, he's taking a ton of damage. Why are you not healing him? Like, right there. Like, why do we stop? Okay, good ball. But, so here, for that ball, if you actually just shot it, like, straight down at your feet under this bridge, it'll actually just bounce up and down inside of under here. And you'll be able to, and if as long as he's, like, staying within range, you'll be able to heal, like, everybody within this, with that one ball, instead of having it, like, bounce away and stuff. And it's like there you had, like, a one-track mind, your tank ends up dying, and now, like, as a cascade of that, like, this whole fight's about to be lost. And I'm not saying, like, it's, like, directly your fault or anything, but I am saying you could have done something about it, you know? But yeah, after this, I'm going to jump into the practice range and show you more about what I'm talking about. Did I fast forward? The fast forward on this thing sucks. It says 20 seconds, but I swear it fast forwards like 45 seconds every time. Okay, so fast forward to, like, right here, and you should be alive. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunate pathing. Realistically, like, that was gonna get capped anyway, and, like, because the fact that they only have to go this far, it's like a team thing, like a conscious effort to know that they only have to go this far. You pretty much have to give up this checkpoint, especially when they're already so close and, like, stanced up or anything. But if someone makes a hero play, it can obviously make a difference. And the only reason I say that is because you died at that checkpoint and now you're coming back, they get like a ton. They get like a ton of time, which it sounds like I'm, like, contradicting myself from earlier where I was like, don't commit a bunch of time to it where it's being capped. Well, this was like, it got capped as people were dying, and then people were, like, still there and then dying, and then, like, now, like, your tank's already up there, but they're probably under the assumption that they have to make a hero play to, like, save this game, and by thinking that, they're probably going to end up dying, and, like, there's not going to, it's going to be like a cascading effect of, like, there's nothing you can do, you have to make a hero play, blah blah blah. Like, typically those hero plays just don't work because, like, 5 players are just going to be able to handle one in most situations. And what do you know? It wasn't the tank. It was it was soldier. But he just got picked regular. So yeah, same thing right there. Where it's like your tank is under, like, a ton of pressure. Like, they're taking all the aggro. Like, it would be great to just pocket them for a moment, you know, like, until they can get through that. Or, like, throw a shadow ball and then just hold down, like, heal. Like, anything. But if they're under, like, a absolute amount of pressure, like a total, like a ton, like, a healing ball and the left click will help, especially, like, if your other support's not around or something like that. So, like, big takeaways there was just, like, be less stingy with the heal, I guess. Like it's good. They're not going to. So I'm going to talk about some of the things that I was mentioning, and then we'll get on to the next one. So Moira. So what I was talking about under the bridge. So like this is the Dorado Bridge or whatever. So if I just throw this ball straight down at my feet, because of that piece of the geometry, it bounced off, and there's unfortunately a room right here. But let's do it again. Right here, it's just gonna bounce up like the ball, or under this bridge is gonna get it. Oh, am I lagging a bit? I got you. Let's change the settings real quick. Is that any better? Does it seem like it's lagging a bit, doesn't it? For now, it's good. Cool. So this is what I'm talking about. When they're like taking a bunch of aggression, you like holding it down does like a ton of healing. So like right here, like obviously I'm gonna run out of resources, but like most of the time it's not gonna be like that. But I mean, you paid for the whole bar, you might as well use the whole bar. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to hold it down like I am all the way until they're full. So like if they're not actively being damaged, you can do it to like right there, and like they're gonna heal over time, obviously. But if they're at like this low and you just spritz them, they're not gonna get very far. Like that, obviously they're taking a little bit of damage, but like it doesn't go very far. And then like we didn't really get to see like a ton of ults or anything like that, but like I'm actually just gonna show this because it's fun, but it's just like a current glitch with Moira's ult for some reason. That's just kind of silly. So with Moira's ult, at the very end of Moira's ult, like right when it's about to end, if you fade, I can actually use my abilities in fade, which is where that ball came from. I thought that was just a super interesting thing that still hasn't been patched, but that's about it for now. It's like use your abilities more, use the headset if you don't, and listen for things just so you don't have to look at them, because like being able to see things is pretty important, especially whenever you were like backing away from the Junkrat tire and like ran right into Ryan and everything. It's just like a few of the big things, and then after you've like done that, if you want to submit a different VOD review, we can go over that one, and we'll be able to add on to it. Because I just want to overload you with like a ton of stuff to work on all at once. But hopefully that was somewhat helpful. And then let's move on to the next one.